Hello Firdaus. Do you know um, the kind of hypothesis? I just know three kind of hypothesis, but everyone said that hypothesis there are five kind. So maybe you can explain me about the fourth and the fifth hypothesis. But here I would like to explain you first because I think I have to let you know the first and the second and then the third of kind hypothesis. So here the first is the natural order hypothesis. The acquisition of language is going toward the natural order. Is the it is the meaning that accurate is not from the learning process but based of acquisition. How people get a natural order of hypothesis. In the natural order hypothesis in research, that is the aspect of morphology in research. Morphology in as progressive as is plural marker, and third is singular. So the second is the monitor hypothesis, that a learner system acts as a monitor what they are producing, focus more on how we speak without paying attention to the grammatical or rule. So the monitor is like we have to control our conversation. It's like if you make a conversation with someone, we can control it with a grammar and the rules of the conversation of the of the language. So the third is input order hypothesis. It's about compr- compression. We providing context in the put hypothesis is not now people get language through the language part acquisition. Speaking language through language part acquisition. Eh, sorry. Speaking language by person, whatever, whether structure, vocab vocabulary, or about provided by person or about the learning you want to introduce something new, then don't go to from the person's self control. So this is about the providing context. So we talk about structure, vocabulary, or about the meaning you want to introduce something new, like describing something. Okay, so here here I ask to you to explain me about the fourth and then the fifth hypothesis, because my friends told me that you can explain all of the hypotheses. So I have known about the first and then the second and then the third hypothesis, but I don't know about the fourth and the fourth and then the last hypothesis. So maybe you can explain me about that. Thank you.
Okay, first, thank you very much for your long conversation, Mr. Shiddiq. It is so important and benefit for me. And for your question to ask about what is the fourth and the fifth and the fifth hypothesis is input. About the fourth hypothesis, I will explain about it. The fourth hypothesis is input hypothesis. It means that how the people or the student as a foreign understand or take uh, take and learn their language, foreign language, so that they, it means that they must know about step by step to understand it. For example, in input hypothesis is explained that the people must understand about the context of language, so that they must read a lot, they must know a lot about the basic and condition and in the foreign language is an input in language. It means that how the people understand by using reading, saying, and foring looking for looking for the real contact in foreign language, so that the student as foreign language, the student have to read, write, see, and look for a lot of about this language. This is about input hypothesis. So over your question in the fifth hypothesis is, it is effective filter hypothesis. This means that this is very important for the foreign student to learn and study language acquisition, because it is not real and the mother, and because this is not the mother, our mother language, because it is our acquisition language, so that we have to have good motivation, good motivation to learn, to study it. Because if uh, if we don't have good motivation to learn about the strength language, for example, if you don't know about the language, about the English language at all, so of course I think, in my opinion and my experience, when I in senior high school, I don't like it. So that the motivation is very important. So that in this fifth hypothesis, Mr. Grayson is explain how the student have the good motivation, how the good motivation to study equation, language equation, motivation. So, as the result, if they have the good motivation, good intention, of course, they have a good result. So if they don't have, of course, bad result is ours, of course. So that effective filter hypothesis is uh, about thinking and talking about good or bad motivation for us learn language equation. It is my explanation. So how about you? Is there just add to me.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Firdaus, for your explaining. It is good explanation that I ever got. And now I have understood about five kinds of hypothesis. Thank you so much. And then, yeah, just like that, it is enough. By the way, have you understood from my explanation, Mr. Firdaus? The first and then the second and then the third of hypothesis. If you if you have not understood of my explanation, from my explanation, sorry, you can tell me. What do you what what do you want to know?
No, Mr. Sirik, I think I have understood about your explanation, but my point, I have uh, a little, a little different points for this one, because in my explanation before, when I explain for my to our lecture, I'm not explain like you, but for that's my statement, my opinion about it. I think for your explanation and my explanation is different. That's it.
Yeah, I know because a lot of people different, bre. Yalah, thank you so much ya for your explanation.